What if we looked at life that way? I'm the luckiest. What if we always looked at life that way? Now, I know we don't teach luck as a spiritual principle, right? We just don't teach it that way. But we do teach that we live in a friendly universe, one that loves us, one that supports us. What if we really embodied that knowing and approached life and decisions from that perspective? Would we have regrets? Would we long for do overs? Would we live in the past any longer? I don't know. If you've been with us for a while, you know that we take a little break in the summer and we switch to movies. We use movie themes and find spiritual messages and meaning within them. And we call it our sizzling summer series movies. And our theme this month is all about relationships. Just some of the ones that we might experience over the course of a lifetime. And one of our overarching theme is, again, relationships. And the message today is the ultimate relationship hack. Everybody likes a hack, right? Cut around, a shortcut, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to be exploring if being present in the moment matters. We talk about it around here, right? Is it important? Does it matter? Well, we're going to see about that today. After service, we're going to watch the movie of the day called About Time. Anybody seen it? Okay, About Time. And it is a very fun story that shows us what happens when we change our perspective of life. Many of us in the room I know have had perspective shifts about our lives. And so we're going to see that demonstrated in film today. Now, the movie topic is time travel. Ooh, isn't that fun? Time travel. So, the first question, though, we have to ask ourselves as we prepare is, if it was available, would you do it? Would you go back or forward in time? Would you do it? What would you change? What would you change? Now, before you make that decision, you need to know the rules. You need to know the rules. You have to have experienced that moment specifically in it in the past. If you wanted to meet Ernest Holmes and you've never met Ernest Holmes, perhaps you weren't even born before he passed, can't do it. Can't do it. You have to have been in the moment in order to be able to go back to it. Okay, so there's rule number one. You also have to consider the future effects of whatever this thing, event, or conversation that you're tweaking a little bit. But I'm going to make it better, right? I'm going to make it better. Or I'm going to make it just a little more beautiful, or I'm going to prevent something from happening. Mm, What's my life going to be when I get back to it in today's time? What impact will that have? So you have to think about these things before you buy your ticket for time travel, okay? Everybody good? Just got to get the rules down. But really, why in the world do you want to go back? Why in the world do you want to go back? Do we want to go back to fix mistakes? Do we want to go back and control destiny? I might like to go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s and buy a little Apple stock. But the reality is I didn't have any money back then to buy Apple stock, or I'd have probably bought it, right? So, how do you change that whole thing? Got to go back a little bit further. Anyway, um, why do we do things like past regressions and psychic readings? Are we just curious, or is it something else? Why does this stuff fascinate us? When we talk about, and we really know at an intellectual level, that we only have this moment. We have memories of the past and projections of the future, but we only have this moment, but we do all these other things. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right. It's just part of our wiring, right? Part of our wiring. So the time travel in our movie is only backwards. You can't go forward into the future with it. And so as I played with that idea, thinking about my own life and areas and places I might want to go back and so forth, it raised a question. particularly around our teaching. Is life a divine symphony, perfectly orchestrated and unfolding through our oneness? Or is there, or can there be, a ghost in the machine, so to speak? Now, if you recall, you may know that long ago scientists used to use mechanical metaphors to describe the cosmos and the universe and life experience. That's how they began to translate it and try to remove it from religious aspects into scientific understanding. So they had these two concepts. One was the clockmaker concept, and that suggests that the machine is the entire physical cosmos and natural laws, and that God is the grand clockmaker or systems designer in modern terminology who built the most perfect and magnificent clock and then walked away. And then walked away, just let the clock run for eternity, and we're in that system. The other idea is that the ghost suggests that there's the physical body only, and that that's the machine, and the driver is the human mind. The driver is the human mind. Now, we might think of that today in modern technology terms because they're kind of flipping that idea, aren't they? It's kind of changed since those initial ideas because we're talking about things like computers spontaneously developing a soul or consciousness, artificial intelligence. Anybody see the movie The Matrix? Yeah, that was kind of out there in those ideas, right? Now, the clockmaker theory poses the question, well, where did God go? Where did God go after building this clock? And the ghost in the machine theory looks at the body and says, where'd this mind come from? Where did this mind come from? Consciousness. We still don't know about consciousness. I was just reading science articles this weekend about it. They have no idea what it is yet. We know. We know. We know. We could figure it out for them. But the scientists haven't figured out that part yet. The science of mind is more grounded in the idea that we do live in this divine symphony of oneness, that we're all one, we're all connected, we're all part of it, we're all an instrument, and it's a perfectly orchestrated cosmic flow. It does require acceptance. It requires alignment and trusting the evolutionary impulse of the universe. Remember, Holmes always talked about that upward spiral, right? Always evolving, never stagnant, that it keeps expanding forever and ever. Everything belongs. Everyone is an instrument in the orchestra, and there are no mistakes. Sound familiar? The wrench in the system, though, the little science of mind wrinkle that we throw in, is you are an individualized expression of the divine. You have free will, you have free choice. That could be a ghost in the machine. What? I've got a system, but I've got a bajillion independent thinkers and planners and doers and decision makers and choice makers and change makers. What? Messing up my system? We are individualized, conscious minds in a material universe. Each of us has that free will and choice. We have the mental power and capacity to alter the script of our lives, shift our thinking, and change our minds and our personal reality. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? Yes. I mean, gee. But it seems like it would create complete chaos, doesn't it? It seems like it would completely create chaos because everybody wants to do their own thing. We haven't quite done that yet. We haven't quite created total chaos yet. It's said that the mind can be looked at like a supercomputer. It's got one operating command. A lot of apps that we all get to decide how we want to work within that, but two commands. One, prevent chaos. Two, create order. Anybody ever been to a symphony? You come in to the beautiful theater, and all the musicians are on the stage and they're playing their little instruments, little pieces and parts of the symphony and tuning up. And there's people talking, and this concert hall has beautiful acoustics. And you're just being bombarded by all this sound and this stuff. And you sit down and you've noticed, you're like, oh my gosh. And the conductor comes out, and the orchestra goes quiet, and they hit that one note, and the lights go down, and your body goes, your nervous system settles, you're in alignment, you're at peace. There's once again order. There's once again order from chaos. And we feel it, which is why music is so soothing to our soul. I believe it because of the harmonies within it that just soothe us. We are orderly beings living in an orderly universe. Even though this world of effects appears so chaotic and so scary, underlying it all is order. How does all this relate to time travel in our movie today? Right? Well, let's go back to the movie. Tim is the name of our main character. And when he first learns that he can time travel, he doesn't believe it to begin with, right? I mean, come on. So he tries it, and it works. And so then he becomes the major ghost in the system, in the machine. He treats life like a script. Whoa, I can go back and fix anything. He works on it and works on it until he thinks it's perfect. Goes back and goes back. If a conversation goes poorly, if an interaction doesn't turn out the way he wants it to, he simply says, "Excuse me," and he leaves for a moment. He goes back. He thinks about it. He comes up with a new idea. And he goes back right before that moment, and he replays the script again and again and again with all these new ideas and things that he's got until he gets it what he thinks is perfectly. What he thinks is perfectly. I think in the science of mind, we sometimes do that with our spiritual mind practice, our spiritual practices. When we use them solely to micromanage our lives from fear and perfection instead of from faith, we're back trying to rewrite everything and get it just perfect rather than living in faith. Rather than living in faith. We teach transformational spiritual and mental practices to help us change our thinking, how we see and experience life. That's what we do here. You heard some of the gratitude this morning for what these principles have done in the lives of many in this room. That is what the teaching is. But along with those practices, there needs to come a deeper spiritual realization. The very first step when we begin our studies. We must understand and deepen our relationship with that which is greater than we are, with universal presence, with God. I'm talking about that infinite intelligence of the universe. Whether you call it a clockmaker, the Holy Ghost, God, universal energy, or George, it doesn't really matter as long as we're developing that deeper relationship with that which is greater than we are, because we recognize there's more than just us. There's more than just us. There's just too much mystery and mystical experience in the universe for there not to be. This teaching can show you How to stop hitting the repeat button of negative thinking and ways of being. Wouldn't that be nice not to repeat stuff going forward so that we didn't have to go back and clean it up? What a concept. Let's go back to Tim, lead character. He thought that he was the editor, the director, the star, and could fix everything. I'll just keep going back. I'll just fix it, right? Makes sense. He was the man behind the curtain, pulling the levers and pushing the buttons. It was all good. Until he understood those unintended consequences that started showing up when he went back to his regular life. Whoops. But I thought I was doing good. I thought I was doing the right thing. I didn't realize it would change everything. He also realized that no matter how well crafted a moment was, a conversation, an interaction, he couldn't make someone love him. Because there's still free will and choice on the other side of that decision, isn't there? Even though he was doing everything perfect, it still wasn't right for the other party. And that happens in our treatments as well sometimes, doesn't it? We're trying to push it and make it happen, and the other party's just not interested. Free will and choice. This mirrors the law of cause and effect. Because we're one, united in that wholeness and that oneness, our individual use of the laws and mental practices and the direction of the law that we do ripples out into the collective consciousness. And we talk about that, where we'll drop that pebble of love or peace into the pond of consciousness, and we watch those ripples go out and bring more love and peace into the world. And yes, that works. But when a bajillion of us are individually doing our dropping of our pebbles for the good of our life into that, it's bumping into everybody else's too, right? And my good might conflict with yours. And then we have that whole thing going on. Oh my gosh, thank goodness it's an intelligent universe that can figure that stuff out for us. It sounds again like it creates complete chaos and an absolute typhoon. Is that the word? No. Tsunami? No. What is the thing that happens on the ocean where the water gets all crazy? Whatever that is. Hurricane? Okay, well, maybe a hurricane. Hurricane creates a hurricane or chaos. But in reality, we're mostly working together. We are mostly working together as a human race. Now, I know we can watch the news, and I know we've all had experiences where it doesn't feel that way. But really, at the core level, I believe we are, especially on the big stuff. If we weren't, we'd never follow traffic laws. We'd all just be going willy-nilly every which way, driving through fields and everything else, right? So we believe in this order. We are pre-programmed for order. And because of that, I believe that as a human race, we stay within that order generally. We color outside the lines a lot, but we generally stay within that order. So another big question this movie raised for me: how do I live my life today so that I would not ever want to go back and change anything? How am I present? Is that even possible to do? To not have regret? We all make mistakes. It's part of growing, it's part of living, right? We make mistakes. But how can I find a place to be with those, to not wring my hands and worry and fret, to want to go back and fix it? I mean, we've all had that moment. Gosh, if I just did 2 seconds ago hadn't said that or had said that, or I could have said it better, right? We've all had that. We have to keep going forward. We keep going up. We all like a mulligan once in a while, right? Do over. Funny thing I've noticed about that is that usually when I take a mulligan on the golf course, I hit the next ball in the same spot. I'm supposed to be over there for some reason, or in the water, as the case may be. What we have to ask ourselves is what else will change when I do it over? Whatever it is, what else will change on the other side going forward? Had an interesting experience this week since we're talking about perspective. I was driving to work, and as I do during the week, I think about the message and you guys and what we're talking about and presenting and so forth. And I got stopped at a stoplight. And as I did, usually, check the phone, move the radio, whatever, all the stuff you do when you stop at a stoplight, not paying attention for the red light to turn green. And I was on the front row. But this particular morning, I guess because I was reflecting, I started looking at the people in the cars who were going by and looking at their faces. They weren't very happy. They looked mad. They looked angry. And I I thought, wow, grumps. Everybody's a grump this morning. It's not even Monday. What's going on? And I had a realization. Kind of peeked in the mirror and I went, I'm not unhappy. I'm actually very happy. I had a little grin on my face, checked in with my body. I felt good. I feel happy. I felt like Denise Rosier singing that song, I Know God. I got a secret. I'm happy. I feel joy. And so in that moment, I realized I didn't have a good reason to be happy. There was nothing making me happy. I just felt joy. And so I began to grin a little bigger and a little bigger, and I started to smile and started to wave at everybody. And I was on the front row. And I mean, I got some looks, and I know they thought I was crazy, but I didn't really care. I just hoped that as they passed me, they thought, oh my gosh, and they smiled. And it brought a smile to their morning, to their day. Maybe it changed their day. Maybe they were going in to fire somebody and they decided not to. I mean, who knows? But it was just a fun experience and a perspective shift about being present to in the moment, present to each other. It's a key to happiness is being present, not living in the past or the future, being present to what is and the energy with everybody in front of us in each moment. Why do we waste precious moments being angry, frustrated, upset? Do we think it'll be okay tomorrow? Ugh, just flush this day. It's a bad day. Just let it go. I'll start over tomorrow. We sometimes treat life like a diet. Up, had the chocolate cake today. Might as well blow it up and eat everything else, and I'll start again tomorrow. Yep, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. That old saying, today is the first day of the rest of your life, is true, right? It is true. And it's beautiful when someone makes a transformation and changes something powerful and really steps into this is the first day of the rest of my life. I'm never doing that stuff again. This is who I am now. That's beautiful. And it annoys me beyond end. I hate that statement because it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit of thinking any day of our life is a throwaway. Don't think, well, tomorrow's the first day of the rest of my life, so today doesn't matter. All I have to do is confess my sins and walk away and start over with a clean slate tomorrow. Yay! It's all good. Why would we waste one precious moment? Why would we waste one precious moment? Instead of repeating that broken cycle of how we do life, let's instead make conscious, committed choices today to participate in every moment of our lives and to notice how beautiful life really is. We heard those beautiful songs last week about beautiful. Yay, they were great. Life is beautiful. It really is. We call this science of mind New Thought philosophy, not because we think ancient wisdom, which is really what we're teaching, changes in any way. Those truths don't change. Our willingness to expand our awareness, to continue to grow, to continue to our own evolution. That's what the new thought is. The new thought is within us. It's not the teaching. It's within us and our new thinking about how life is. Ernest Holmes is the author of The Science of Mind, and he reminded us, he says, we have to keep our minds and our organization open at the top for the new influx of wisdom. For the new influx of wisdom. Just think of our lives. I mean, just going from that clockmaker goes to the machine idea of description of the universe to where we are today, thinking that a piece of machinery that we're building could have consciousness, could have intelligence. I mean, we are constantly growing and expanding, and it's going to continue. It's going to continue. So we must remain open at the top to be engaged in life, to receive and grow and expand our own wisdom. And just like Tim in the movie had to stop trying to micromanage his past to create the perfect future, instead open his mind to the beauty of right now, the present moment, and what was happening in his life. Faults and all, we're called to stay present and open at the top in our minds as well. It's time for us to let go of our rigid control and to allow the divine symphony of life to play its music through us. So your spiritual practice this week, stop trying to time travel. We all do it. We want to reflect on the past. We want to rehash what happened. We want to fix it in our minds, which is, that's therapeutic. I get it. Or we want to get over here in the future and start making something happen the way we think it should happen, rather than trusting that we live in this beautiful system, this beautiful love, and allowing faith and our faith in that goodness to carry us through. Instead of this week, reset the repeat button and set an intention every morning to actively look for the divine order and beauty. Where are we? And oneness that is present in every single moment. And then notice when you are getting angry or frustrated about something, or about to say something or do something rude, cruel, or judgmental. Notice those things. Pause, take a breath. Remind yourself that this is a single, special, precious, glorious, irreplaceable moment of your life. And instead, smile. Just smile. It so helps. Don't waste another moment of your life. Don't waste another moment of your life. Live in the present. This week, let's savor every moment and accept the amazing and beautiful nature of our existence. Because today really is a good day for a good day. So it is. All right. Well, I'll open the microphone if anybody wants to chat this morning about anything. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about clockmakers and ghosts and science of mind and time travel and perspective, order, happiness. Anybody? Anything? All right, Miss Chris.
I hope this doesn't take too long to explain, but
go for it.
In the last month, I had a very profound spiritual experience. I looked back and over my life, which I do a lot since I'm getting so old, and I thought of all of the very, very painful things that happened where I prayed and prayed. I didn't get what I wanted and I moved on. But in 5 separate experiences during the last month. I saw each of those 5 times, and I saw in there, which reminds me of time travel, what happened, and I saw how it relates to my life now. And all the pain I went through, if I went back and said, would I change that? Absolutely not. For each of those 5 things, and last week or 2 weeks ago at a family reunion, the 5th thing came to me, and I could let go of so much. I'm not saying it wasn't devastating to me at the time, but I see why.
Oh, honey. Wow. Thank you. Wow. That's powerful. Powerful. Good morning.
Good morning. I'll turn and stand. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tanasia. I'm obviously new here. It's interesting I came today because I also have been going through some spiritual awakenings. I thought I knew what I was and I thought I was okay with it. And then I found out probably 15 years ago, some black magic was cast on me, and it really put me in a space of mental time travel where I got really devastated and I started blaming every downfall, every no, every bad relationship, every failed job, business endeavor. I just started blaming it on the person that I found out did this to me. And I started getting filled with hate. And I'm a massage therapist, I'm a Reiki master, I do tarot readings, so I don't do hate. I'm like, ooh, this is different, but I'm gonna feel it, like I'm allowing myself to feel the emotions, the energetic motions that I'm going through. And so then I got to a point where it's like, you know what, it happened. I was lucky. I still learned lessons. I still had some wins. I still had my daughter out of it, so I'm going to just go through the next 15 years of my life relearning, re-meeting, reintroducing myself to myself. And then I got like crying, sliding down walls, realizing, well, I don't have a relationship with my mother, my physical creator. And then it's like, well, now I have to relearn my relationship with my spiritual creator because for 15 years I've had that blockage, kind of just stuck, So it was great that today, well, ChatGPT brought me here, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Kat.
I told him, yeah. He was like, I really think you should try this place. And I'm like, I'm going to take your word for it,
I love it.
And I'm grateful. I will be back. I just want to say that. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you. So are you
Awesome.
too. I have lotion on. Nice
That's
to meet
okay.
you.
I like lotion.
Thank you.
And check you out. And you come in and got your welcome packet all by yourself. You made your name tag. You're hired. You're hired. Welcome back and welcome home.
Anyone else? Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you so much for heartfelt sharing this morning. I really enjoy opening this up to us. Thank you all for being here as well. Would you join me for a prayer as we anchor this? So we just take a breath and allow that to settle. And in doing so, we recognize the power in the breath. I certainly do. And in that moment, I recognize there is one eternal presence, one life, one mind, one spirit, one source of all that is, that infinite creator that has through infinite intelligence created all through and as and of itself. It is harmony and balance and order and divine right order. It is love pressed down to overflowing peace, joy. And all of that is here now present in, through, and as me, as an expression of it. And as I know that about myself, I know that for each one of us gathered here and those joining us online this morning and later. For we are one, and there is no separation of time or space. We are one in the one, unified in this glorious wholeness of love and peace. Oh. So in that unity, I just simply speak my word for and about each one of us today, knowing that we're gathered here by divine appointment, that there are no mistakes in this universe, that we are here to have heard this message, to have expressed our truths, to share our love, our joy, our hugs, our hearts, our minds, and that we are fully present right here, right now, in this breath, in this moment, in this prayer, to each other, to ourselves, to the chair, to the floor, to the room, to the temperature. We are present. And I know as we move through our week ahead, that there's no regrets. That because we are present, because we are engaged, that we look back with joy and gratitude and thanksgiving for our actions, our words, our thoughts, our attitudes, all that we've done. A beautiful week transpires for each and every one of us because we are present to the presence. We are present to the presence. How grateful I am to know this. How grateful I am for this center and all who support it with their love, their gifts, their talents, their person. I'm grateful for all faith traditions who practice any way of light to the divine, for we know there are many ways to get there. This is simply one. But there is only one. And we bless each and every one of those paths, each and every one of those ministers and teachers and practitioners that are involved in leading and speaking the truth. Our musicians who sing with joy, gratitude, and every volunteer that ever volunteers in any spiritual community, giving of their time, their talent, and their hearts. It's all good. It's all God. And I am grateful. Grateful for the manifestation of this prayer in the lives of each one of us, knowing as we walk forward in joy and compassion and healing and health and wholeness and love. Not only are we transformed, but so are our relationships. So holding that deep in my heart, I just release this into the action of law, knowing that it's already done, it's already made manifest. The word spoken is the word made manifest. And we just simply proclaim and affirm that together by saying, and so it is.